Hello and welcome to the Corporate Law Week only on Theory Masters Learning. Today we have with us Mr. Raghav Bhatia, who is currently practicing as an independent advocate in Allahabad and New Delhi. His expertise includes client interactions, drafting of petitions and applications, representing individual clients in bankruptcy matters, and also various civil and criminal matters. He has had a rich and varied experience while working as an associate in securities and capital markets and corporate group at Khetan and Company, Mumbai. So let us welcome Mr. Bhatia and gain his valuable guidance on choosing corporate law as a career option. Hello Raghav, welcome to Theory Masters Learning.
Thank you, Preeti.
Raghav, I'm sure the journey of becoming a corporate lawyer would have been an interesting one. So what made you choose law as a career option? And my viewers would love to know something about your journey of becoming a lawyer.
Well, I think when it all started as a young student, just passed out from class 12th, I had absolutely no idea what aspect of law will be my choice in the
Okay.
future. However, I think and that's something that is a dilemma that is faced by a lot of students. I think most of us, if you
Yes.
know at this stage, at the stage what you want to do as a lawyer, it's wonderful. If you don't, congratulations, you're in the majority. That's how it works. But eventually, I think for me, when law school progressed and I had a chance to look at internships, attend different law firms, and work with them, see how things were, have some sort of litigation experience at different law offices. I think that's what kind of slowly gradually developed my choice
Okay.
preferences.
So did you do some kind of an internship after your 12th standard and before appearing for the entrance exam, or were you very clear that yes, I want to become a lawyer, or was there someone in your family you thought that influenced you?
Yeah. I do have a background of law in my family as such, so
Okay.
that's something that definitely aided the decision. But otherwise, I think with a keen interest in kind of debating and an interest in public speaking, I think that's what progressed my decision towards law. And talking about your first question about what my internships were, I think there are no internships before you join law school,
Okay.
and not even in the first year. If I was a 5-year law student, if you're a 3-year law student, things are a little different.
Okay.
But talking about 5-year law, generally there are no internships in the first year. You definitely are struggling unless you're really related to somebody important, etc. Otherwise, you're generally struggling to get a law internship. That's absolutely fine. Eventually, it all works out. You find some relative here and there who gets you some opportunity, and that's where you begin things. And eventually, once you start interning, for me, for example, I had a couple of internships in in-house cooperative teams. Then I had an internship with a litigation office. That eventually progressed me into having an internship with a corporate office, with a corporate law firm, and that's eventually where my choice kind of got more strengthened, that I'm going to do corporate law post law school. That's, I think, if you do your internships well, you generally have some or the other place to be a part of once you've graduated out of law school, and it helps you with your journey ahead.
Okay, so your journey was like any other normal law student. You first appeared for the entrance exam, and then you pursued law from a law college for 5 years, and after that you did your internship from a law firm. So, how did you decide on which law firm to intern from?
So I guess when you're in law school, in most occasions, yeah, like they say, beggars are not choosers. So you don't have many choices. It
Okay.
depends on how you kind of are able to perform in your internships. What internships are you able to get? Where do you get your foot in your door? And once that happens, that journey progresses, you're able to kind of make your decisions. So for me, I think I was doing some internships. I think it was a long term, 2.5 3 month stint that I served in JSA. Eventually, I went on to Khetan and Company, where I
Okay.
had a longer stint, and both these places were for me choices of work post law school. But eventually I think it's not just what place you're working, it also depends on what people you're working with, because
Okay.
that really makes a lot of difference. Because you might have the best law firm, a very good package, but then if you're not happy with the kind of work you're doing, not the kind of people you're working with, it becomes terrible for you to work. So it also helped me because I had a lot of interaction with people in JSA and Khaitan, and both these places I had very positive interactions, very positive feedback, fortunately.
Okay.
So both these options were available for me post law school, and I chose Khaitan in the end.
Okay, so I think not only the law firm but also the team that you work in, the kind of opportunities that come your way matters a lot in deciding where your career is headed.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Raghav, many a times students know that there is a degree, there is something known as LLB, and after that, they can pursue their masters. They know what the degree is about, how to go about it, what are the various exams. But many students still don't know what is the work profile of a corporate lawyer. So, if you could just brief them and discuss as to what exactly a corporate lawyer will do, what kind of work he does.
Sure. So I think I'll start with giving you a fair description of what my day looked like in a normal day looked like at Khaitan and Company.
Yes,
I
yes.
think the day usually began at about 9:30, 10, depending on how well your team kind of functions. It all depends on what your team timings are, and that's how your day generally starts. Like I
Okay.
said, teams are very important. It's very difficult to get a good set of people to work with, but when you do, it's smooth enough from there on. Starting on with the day, you can generally enter office at around 9:30, 10. You begin
Okay.
with your daily work. You kind of so now what my daily work would consist of kind of having a hang of transactions which I'm working on. So
Okay.
just to give you a heads up on what corporate law is, how corporate law is different from any other sphere of law, is that you're generally dealing with very high profile clients who
Okay.
are generally corporate entities.
Okay.
Now, when you're dealing with corporate entities, you're not just kind of working. So, in my case, I think in normal set of a corporate lawyer, you generally see that these people are working on transactions
Hmm.
where there is not much interaction in terms of court work.
Okay.
However, you will see a lot of interactions happening with maybe other companies, your clients, and your opposite parties will be generally companies, it will be generally investment banks, and people
Okay.
who are working on corporate transactions again.
Okay.
Now, for me, I was in the capital markets and corporate team.
Mm-hmm.
So we were generally dealing with IPOs, which are the initial public offerings, rights
Okay.
issues, all these fundraising transactions. So you would generally have a regulator which you're associated to, and in my case, it was SEBI,
Okay.
and you would generally be working with SEBI or for SEBI, and some making presentations, making IPO documents, making a lot of these transactional documents, which ultimately get vetted by SEBI, and that's how your fundraising essentially happens. I'm putting it across in a very layman fashion for somebody to understand what these things are.
Yes.
I'll be happy to give details if somebody needs them to.
Okay.
So going on from there, so you would generally have these corporate transactions which are happening on a regular basis. You would then have these general advisory work. So you would be approached by a company generally for maybe how can they do a particular filing, how can they maybe circumvent a particular regulation, how can they kind of comply with something while
Okay.
also being able to address the issues which they are personally facing as a company, etc. How can they be raising funds at a time when they're probably not compliant with certain norms? So putting across these different things, you would be answering these queries in form of notes which you will be preparing for your clients.
Okay.
Now, generally in corporate houses and law firms, what generally happens is that you're like a protected you're in a protected environment, because something which you're doing is not directly going to the client at a junior level. It
Okay.
will generally be vetted by somebody who's at the middle level or at the top level, maybe your senior associate, your principal associate, or
Okay.
your partner. They will definitely take a look at it, and then it goes out.
Okay.
So and giving you something very unique about corporate law is that you're not just handling clients, and you're not just taking care of their issues, but you're also doing them with a certain amount of style, I would say. You're not
Okay.
just putting across things in a very raw manner.
Okay.
When you're talking to a corporate lawyer, when you're dealing with a corporate law firm, you're dealing with clients who are ready to pay you top notch money, right?
Yes.
So that's very important that you're giving them service, and it's ultimately, as lawyers, we're in service industry. So it's not just about giving the client right solution, but giving the right solution in a very organized manner, in a very well explained, with a very well explained approach, with presentations, good well made presentations, well made notes, and the way you come across with your clients should be very, very, in a very good, uh,
A
good
polished
statement,
manner, maybe,
a polished
so
manner.
I
Yeah.
think corporate lawyer, the entire course will only teach you some part of law, but working in a law firm or working in a corporate working as a corporate lawyer will also groom you as a person. It will, take you to another level, I think. As maybe it'll also enhance your personality, because all these drafting skills and the communication skills will also be enhanced once you start working in these firms.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. You're working with these C-suite set of people, the CEOs and the CFOs of the company,
Yes.
and they expect you to kind of come across as somebody who's done their homework well, and who's also able to put across his work to the company in a good manner. So
Okay.
that's certainly very important. It develops a lot of skills in you as a corporate
So I
lawyer.
think it also develops your communication skill. You learn on the job.
You learn on the job. Yes,
Yeah.
you learn
Okay. Okay.
absolutely.
So in a law firm, like you were working in Khaitan, did you get to choose your area of interest, or is the team allotted to you, and slowly you start working with them and realize where your interest lies?
So that happens. There are two ways to answer this question. The first, there are two ways you can get selected as a associate in a law firm like that. And every firm is now developing their ways of selection, etc. But in my case, that was the first one. Is where a long-term internship leads you to a job. Okay. Now, what happens in a long-term internship is that you're working with a firm for a 3-month period. You start doing good work. The firm likes your work. The team likes your work. The team likes you also, not just your work.
Okay.
And then that internship kind of develops into a 3-month to a 6-month. Then it goes into a 9-month. In my case, I think I had an internship of around 7-8 months in the last year of my college. And once I got out of law school, I had a job to kind of begin with. So that's something that can get you a job, and that definitely did not give me a choice of my team. However, the advantage which was in my case was that I got to choose this internship basis basis my interview, etc. So once your interview happens, you know what kind of for an internship, you know what field you're trying to persuade the team for. And like in my case, it was capital markets. I knew my interest lies in capital markets, so it was something that turned out to be a good choice for me. Now
Okay.
that's one way. The second way is that you enter law school through day zeros, which are these campus selections, campus placements, the way they call it. So when that happens in your law school and you get selected, you generally do not have a choice into what team you're going to be selected into. But what happens is that the most firms have a lot of flexibility for you to move within teams from one team to another, etc. So that kind of gives you that flexibility.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was everything about a day in the life of a corporate lawyer. Raghav, law is such a dynamic field. There are so many changes which take place, and there are so many amendments which keep coming up in this field. So, what are the challenges and opportunities faced by a corporate lawyer?
So I think as a corporate lawyer, it's very important for you to kind of be updated with what you're doing. I think that's something that is specific to the profession of law as such. We say that lawyers is a profession where you constantly have to keep learning. You're always a student. It's very true. But as a corporate lawyer, I think there are opportunities, there are challenges. In terms of the challenges, I think you got to be very, very, like I said in my earlier answer, that you got to be put across as a very smart, as a very well-oriented candidate, as a very well-oriented lawyer, so to say.
Yes.
And when you're servicing these clients, you have to always be at top-notch level of knowledge, level of comfort with what you're saying, what you're putting across, and be very sure of what you're doing.
So, is there a
And
lot of reading involved? Like, do you keep yourself updated by reading the amendments or whatever new has come up in this field? So, do you
oh
have to
yes,
read
oh
a lot
yes.
and keep
Yes,
yourself
yes, you have to
updated?
constantly be updated with the profession, the field of law which you're practicing in, and the kind of clients which you're servicing, because the problems which they are facing are multifold, and they can be very random at times. They can be very difficult to kind of comprehend at first go, and that's where your team as such comes to your rescue, where they guide you with so there are so many instances where you come across issues which have never been faced before, but then you have one old guy sitting in a corner who will tell you, okay, no, I have had this complication before in a similar issue, and we can probably approach this in a particular way. So working in a corporate setup kind of gives you that opportunity to face these challenges on a daily basis.
Okay.
At the same time, in one of the things which I kind of also felt while being a corporate lawyer is that you have to kind of always, you're slightly restricted to one particular domain of practice, domain of expertise,
Okay.
and that kind of stagnates you in terms of your in terms of your orientation a little bit, but at the same time, if you're interested in what you're doing, it's absolutely fantastic.
Okay. So, as far as opportunities are concerned, are there better opportunities in a big firm, or will we find opportunities in a small or a mid-sized firm as well?
I would say each to their own,
Okay.
because it depends on what you're actually expecting out of your profession. What kind of effort are you willing to put in? What kind of success are you looking to achieve? Because I mean, everybody has their own ideas of success, like they
Yes.
say, and everybody has their own limits, and everybody has their own choices in terms of how much and when they want to kind of be working. So in terms of putting things across in a separate bracket, like a in-house lawyer would definitely have a more flexible sort of a work culture and a more comfortable work culture, but at the same time the kind of work that they would be doing, or the kind of pay they would be getting, or the kind of the clients that they would be interacting with would be very limited. And
Okay.
most of their interaction happens with law firms, because most of their complicated stuff goes out to outsource
To
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 kind
the
of
to the
other
big
law
firms.
firms,
Okay.
to the big
Okay.
firms. As a big firm, as a corporate law firm lawyer, you would probably be uh, more in a very pressurized environment, I would say, and you would be, like I said, constantly be required to be updated, constantly required to be present, available at all
Mm-hmm.
times, and that's
Okay.
something that is absolutely different in terms of
Okay, okay. So I think every firm, every kind of firm will give you different experience, different opportunities. It depends on your personal choice as to what kind of challenges you're ready to face, and what are your aims and what are your goals in life. That will decide, that will help you to decide which firm you should approach.
Yes, I think because the viewers here are going to be young students who would
Yes,
want to maybe pursue law. So just to add something here, that
yes.
internships during your law school will give you that flexibility, will give you that freedom to decide, because you get a
Okay,
flavor of everything while you're doing it. So it's best to kind of have, and I would, when I was kind of in third or fourth year, I was told about this little secret formula which most law students kind of follow
okay,
to start with. This is for a 5-year course. You can use that for a 3-year according to your own time period,
okay,
but you start with doing an internship with an NGO in the first year. That's
okay,
the simplest, that's the easiest to get, and that's a very basic ground level experience that you kind of get.
okay,
Once you've got that, then you move on to an in-house firm in the second year,
okay,
technically. If possible, of course, it's subject to you getting internships, etc. This is just a slight thingy. Then once you had an in-house experience, then you go for law offices, law firms, to kind of lower tier law firms to work with. Once you're in your fourth year, you know what you're kind of doing. You can also spend your third year to explore policy making. That's one very different aspect of law, which law students can explore if that is where their interest lies, and
okay,
get a flavor of that. and during your fourth year you are somehow certain on what you're doing, so you can explore into bigger firms. If you're looking at a corporate law firm, you can explore going with maybe senior lawyers. If you're doing litigation, you can explore looking at bigger corporate teams if you're looking at in-house practice.
Okay.
And you can
Okay.
also look at very good policy making policy research institutes, policy research wings of different organizations to
Okay.
kind of get that experience if that is what you're looking for. Like I
Okay.
said, each to their own. You decide how you want to go about it, and the way you progress over your various years of law school, you eventually make your choices according to that.
Okay. So is the course designed so that it helps you to make choices? Is the course also designed that way?
So the course is designed in a way that begins with the. I mean, this was my course. All of the universities have a flexibility to mingle around with their subjects on where
Okay.
what they want to teach, but generally you will come across like in a 5 year program. It is generally linked to a graduation, a basic graduation of a BA or a BBA. So in a
Okay.
BA, you will have some arts courses. In a BBA, you will have some business courses, which will go along with the basic law courses in the first few years, the
Okay.
first 2 years or 3 years maybe. And once you're done with those, then you will come across very niche law subjects like company law, constitution law, etc.,
Okay.
criminal, civil. All of that will
So they
eventually
give
come
you a
to you.
flavor of various fields, various laws, which will help you to decide where you can approach for internship or where your interest lies.
Absolutely. So when
Okay.
initially you're as a law student, you will get your course program. So you can
Okay.
always try and explore getting internships of that particular field of practice. Once
Okay.
maybe you've done a constitutional law internship and then you want to go and intern with a senior lawyer, or you
Okay.
want to go and intern with a policy organization. So that will kind
Okay.
of make your study more relevant with your
Relevant.
internship
Yes.
experience.
Okay. So what is the
That's
last
like
piece
my
of
advice.
advice which you can give a student who wishes to pursue a career in law?
So I think, I mean, I understand most of your viewers here again going to be students who are
Yes.
CAs and potential CAs, etc. So for them, like we discussed prior to this conversation as well, that I personally believe that CAs and lawyers are definitely very good combinations, even if
Okay.
they're working apart,
Okay.
not being the same person. So once one person has the expertise of both these domain of practice, then I think it becomes a very good combination in terms of identifying solutions for problems which your clients will
Correct.
be facing. Now,
Correct.
this solution can be oriented and can be put across in all the different aspects that I explained to you. Like maybe if you're a corporate guy and you're looking at, let's say, a capital market transaction, it really helps a lot if you have understanding of accounts and finance, if you can
Correct.
identify what balance sheets are, etc. I'm giving you very basic things, but if you have a knowledge of that, then putting that across with what you've learned in law school can definitely put you over an edge above others in terms of your practice area.
Okay.
When you're looking at litigation practice, I think so. In that case, again, when you're approached by a client with a very general, basic, practical solution for a problem, you realize that if you understand how probably an accounting entry would work, you would be able to better assist your client as to at least tell him, you can approach this problem in this particular manner. You
Correct.
might not always have a legal solution for him, but you might have a solution which can help him practically to kind of get rid of the problem that he's facing.
Yes,
So
so
in that
being a
way,
chartered
as a
accountant, you have knowledge of accountancy, tax, as well as law. So it'll be an all-round advice, maybe a well-structured advice which you can give your client.
Absolutely. And more above and beyond that, I think somewhere down the line, the limited interaction I've had with CAs at times is when they realize that once they're doing actual practice after their course is over, they're at times facing a slight sort of boredom with what they're doing on a regular
Hmm.
basis because it's regular
Right.
audit, regular stuff.
Yes.
So bringing in the legal aspect of it will definitely bring the spark with what they're
It
doing
adds a little
during their
spice to the monotony, I think.
Absolutely. It can get
Okay.
them to a different level of expertise.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Raghav. It was a pleasure having you on Theory Masters Learning, and I'm very confident that all the viewers, maybe students or anyone who wishes to pursue a course in law, would have his doubts clarified and he would have got a very clear idea on choosing corporate law as a career.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure if I can even convince some of the CAs to become lawyers, And for the rest of them, they can always work together in tandem with lawyers who don't pursue law as such. They can always work in tandem with lawyers. I would advise them to do that, so
Yes.
that they can probably have a better experience of the whole thing.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much for your time. Viewers, if you have liked this video, do like, share and subscribe to your channel Theory Masters Learning and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications for such interesting videos.